Alright, so I recently finally played through Star Fox Assault. This one's been a long time coming. So I played and did a video on Zero a while ago. And in that video, I remember I particularly mentioned thinking ground combat along the lines of Star Wars Battlefront could be a good fit. And then someone in the comments mentioned that that actually sounded a lot like Star Fox Assault. So I was eager to dive in, but unfortunately my GameCube's disk drive was failing and it just took a while for me to, get a flippy drive, borrow a Wii to back up my copy so I can now, go back and forth between the flippy drive and Dolphin. But, finally got around to it. And was that comment accurate? I mean, it's been a while since I've played the original Star Wars Battlefronts, but honestly, it does play almost exactly like I remember those games playing. I will say I do wish it took, a few other things from Star Wars Battlefront. Like, I think in multiplayer mode it would have been kind of cool if you were playing as more generic Cornerian dogs and Venom monkeys, and then you, through meeting certain objectives, have a player on your team be able to play as a member of Team Star Fox or Star Wolf. Or maybe if they only wanted you to play as Star Fox and Star Wolf, they could have, locked the Landmaster behind those conditions instead. I just always thought that was, pretty unique and fun twist that I would just like to see more of, and I think it would fit very well here. I also wish this game had bots. I didn't really get to mess with the multiplayer because I just don't have anyone to play with. I did hook up a second controller just to kind of see what they may have been going for with some of the exclusive maps and that sort of thing. I'm also not sure if they had like a variety of different modes to really mess with either, which, would be a shame. That would also have added, a lot of play time on top of, being able to play with bots if you don't have anyone. In general, though, that's my big complaint with this game. I mean, I'm assuming it went for, $50, a premium title back when it was new. And even now, it's held its value pretty well. I think I got mine for $35-40. But overall, I was pretty much done with everything in less than 5 hours. There isn't, a lot of, replay incentive. Not that that's something I really dive into a lot anyway. But yeah, with that short of a game, I would say maybe, $20 to $30. Not on sale would have been a little more fair, but it is what it is. Another kind of issue with that too is one way that the older Star Fox games kind of extended their playtime was by having alternative paths that were pretty meaningful. There's nothing like that here. Granted, I guess I kind of get, maybe they wanted to tell a bigger, more cohesive story, and this, makes that a lot more approachable, but it was a shame to see that series staple disappear this time around. That being said, if the game was long enough, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But, just something you would, like to see re-added in the future. I do wonder, because there was a couple multiplayer planets that didn't appear in the campaign. So, I don't know, maybe those are cut levels with Zonus and Titania. I don't think there's any proof of that, but I don't know. I just found that to be very intriguing. Also, with the campaign, I mean, there is a pretty big focus on the new ground combat, and I thought it was fun and it worked, but primarily I associate Star Fox with the rail sections. And if you put the rail sections together with the one dogfight level, that's only 4 of the 10 campaign levels, so I think that could have, been balanced a little better. I feel like, it could have. I normally don't like the dogfighting levels, but I feel like the one we got here was actually pretty good. So I don't know, maybe do 1 or 2 more of them, and then have the on rails sections match at least, if not have an extra level or two compared to the ground sections, and all of that was kind of just more added on, you know. It would have been a lot closer to perfect there for me. Xevious isn't unlockable, so if you want to play through Xevious, I guess that adds, you know, a little bit more playtime. Although, honestly, that one's kind of cheating there, in my opinion. But it was kind of a neat surprise to see. Although it makes sense when you think about it, since I guess Namco developed this one. Overall, though, honestly, as short as it was, this is probably the most fun I've had with a Star Fox game since playing through 64 3D for the first time. That was my first introduction to the series. And even though I feel like that playthrough was overall slightly better in a bubble, when you sort of look at the broader context and you see, like, I went back and played the original Star Fox, and it's a lot like Star Fox 64, and then you play Star Fox Zero, which is, you know, Star Fox 64 again. Granted, there's, you know, some different level design and stuff, but the locations and general structure of everything is just about identical between them, and it just felt so nice to finally play one of these games that wasn't the same thing again, to actually, you know, see progression within the world of Star Fox and all the different characters. And I don't know, this game's in just such a weird spot because, in my opinion, it's so good at what it does, but it's just too damn short as something that's like a full game. And I just don't see anyone really talk about it, let alone in a favorable light. And it's, you know, just so close to being something that could have really been built off of and churned into something great down the line. But I don't know, maybe rail shooters / dogfighting games, which is, you know, what Star Fox is primarily known for, is it too niche? And it's sort of in this weird spot where people, you know, don't want the ground combat? I don't really know. I think it works and it fits. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but hopefully one day it'll all be done right for everyone.